Welcome to Streaming News Network, where we deliver balanced reporting with the facts that matter. The Morning Edition by Claude McDaniel. Please like and subscribe.
This is Claude McDaniel with Streaming News Network. Former National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases Director Dr. Anthony Fauci is scheduled to testify under oath before Senator Rand Paul's Senate Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs Committee on Wednesday after being subpoenaed to appear. The hearing follows years of public disagreements between Senator Paul and Dr. Fauci over the federal response to the coronavirus disease 2019 pandemic, including questions surrounding virus origins, gain-of-function research, and statements made before Congress. Legal analysts have noted that because former President Joe Biden issued Dr. Fauci a presidential pardon before leaving office, the legal landscape surrounding his testimony may differ from that of witnesses facing potential federal prosecution. Some legal experts have suggested that any future testimony will likely be examined closely for consistency with previous statements made under oath. The hearing also comes after recent document releases by Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard concerning pandemic-related research funding and following separate federal charges filed earlier this year against a former senior Fauci advisor in an unrelated records investigation. Senator Paul has repeatedly called for greater accountability regarding pandemic decision-making, while supporters of Dr. Fauci have defended his leadership during one of the nation's most challenging public health emergencies. Wednesday's testimony is expected to draw significant national attention as lawmakers continue examining the government's response to the pandemic. This is Claude McDaniel with Streaming News Network. The Trump administration has announced a significant change to the nation's asylum process, allowing some asylum applications to move directly to immigration court without first requiring an interview with a United States Citizenship and Immigration Services asylum officer. According to the Department of Homeland Security, the new rule is designed to streamline the asylum system by allowing officers to refer certain cases directly to immigration judges when existing records indicate an applicant is legally ineligible for asylum or does not qualify under current law. Officials estimate the change could affect approximately 132,000 future affirmative asylum applications each year. At the close of fiscal year 2025, the agency reported more than 1,400,000 affirmative asylum cases were still pending. Applicants referred under the revised process will continue to have the opportunity to present their asylum claims before an immigration judge during removal proceedings. The Department of Homeland Security says asylum officers will still review application materials and may request additional evidence before referring a case. Federal officials say the change is intended to reduce case backlogs, eliminate duplicate reviews, and allow asylum officers to focus more time on cases requiring interviews. The rule takes effect immediately upon publication in the Federal Register, while the government continues accepting public comments. This is Claude McDaniel for Streaming News Network. The University of North Carolina has announced that football general manager Michael Lombardi has been placed on paid administrative leave, effective immediately. University officials confirmed the decision in a statement released Monday but did not provide a reason for the leave. The school said it is standard practice not to discuss personnel matters and indicated that leadership, staff, and student-athletes will not comment further while the matter is being handled. Lombardi joined North Carolina as part of head coach Bill Belichick's leadership team after decades of working alongside the legendary coach in professional football. Their professional relationship dates back to the 1980s, including time with the Cleveland Browns and the New England Patriots. Lombardi has also been well known as a football analyst and media contributor. As general manager, Lombardi was brought in to help build North Carolina's football program using a professional-style organizational model. His administrative leave comes just days before the Tar Heels are scheduled to open training camp on Thursday. Coach Belichick is expected to meet with reporters during the start of camp and will likely face questions about Lombardi's status. However, because the matter involves university personnel policies, additional details may not be immediately available. This is Claude McDaniel for Streaming News Network. Tractor Supply Company has announced plans to close approximately 75 Petsense pet store locations following weaker-than-expected financial results during the second quarter. The retailer, founded more than 88 years ago, currently operates 206 Petsense stores after acquiring the chain in 2016. Once the closures are completed, approximately 131 locations will remain. Company executives said rising fuel costs and persistent drought conditions in parts of the southeastern United States contributed to reduced customer spending. Officials noted that many Tractor Supply customers travel long distances to stores, making higher gasoline and diesel prices a significant factor in purchasing decisions. The company also reported that dry weather reduced demand for seasonal lawn care and outdoor products during the important spring sales period. Tractor Supply says the closures are part of a broader strategy to strengthen its core business and redirect resources into areas with greater long-term growth. Company leaders pointed to recent investments in veterinary services and pet healthcare as key priorities for the future. The store closure plans come as retailers across several industries continue adjusting to changing consumer spending patterns and economic conditions. This is Claude McDaniel for Streaming News Network. Former National Football League offensive lineman Jordan Devey has died at the age of 38. His family has stated that he died by suicide. Following the announcement, tributes and messages of support have come from across the football community, including Brittany Mahomes, the wife of Kansas City Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes. In a message shared online, Brittany Mahomes encouraged those wishing to help to support the Devey family through a fundraising campaign established to assist with immediate financial needs as they cope with the loss. Jordan Devey played for several National Football League teams during his career, including the New England Patriots, the San Francisco 49ers, the Oakland Raiders, the Buffalo Bills, and the Kansas City Chiefs. He was a member of the Patriots team that won Super Bowl 49. After retiring from professional football, Devey coached high school football in Idaho, where he continued mentoring young athletes. His wife, Lindsay, released a heartfelt statement remembering her husband as a devoted father and expressing gratitude for the outpouring of love and support during this difficult time. Organizations and former teammates throughout the National Football League continue to honor Devey's life, career, and contributions both on and off the field. This is Claude McDaniel of Streaming News Network. Bryan Kohberger, the man convicted in the murders of 4 University of Idaho students, is seeking to withdraw his guilty plea and pursue a new trial. In newly released statements, Kohberger claims his plea agreement was based on what he describes as false promises and misinformation. He also continues to maintain his innocence, calling himself actually innocent in his first public comments since his conviction. Kohberger was arrested in connection with the deaths of University of Idaho students Kaylee Goncalves, Madison Mogan, Xana Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin, who were killed in November of 2022. He was taken into custody the following month, and the case drew nationwide attention because of its complexity and extensive forensic investigation. During the court proceedings, family members of the victims delivered emotional impact statements, remembering their loved ones and condemning the violence that claimed their lives. Court records previously released in the investigation indicated that investigators recovered evidence, including blood found on several items seized during the execution of a search warrant. Legal experts note that requests to withdraw guilty pleas after conviction face a high legal standard, and courts generally require compelling evidence or proof of significant legal error before granting a new trial. This is Claude McDaniel with Streaming News Network. The United States Department of Energy has issued an emergency order allowing additional power generation across parts of 17 states as extreme heat continues to strain the nation's electric grid. The order authorizes the Southwest Power Pool, which manages electricity transmission across much of the central United States, to activate backup power sources that are normally kept offline. Officials say the temporary measure is designed to maintain reliable electricity service during periods of exceptionally high demand. The emergency declaration covers parts of Arizona, Arkansas, Colorado, Iowa, Kansas, Louisiana, Minnesota, Missouri, Montana, Nebraska, New Mexico, North Dakota, Oklahoma, South Dakota, Texas, Utah, and Wyoming. It is scheduled to remain in effect through August 3. The action comes as millions of Americans face dangerous heat conditions, with temperatures and heat index values exceeding 100 degrees in many areas. Forecasters say a persistent heat dome is contributing to prolonged periods of extreme temperatures, driving increased use of air conditioning and placing added pressure on the electrical grid. Federal officials say the emergency authorization is intended to reduce the risk of power shortages and help prevent rolling blackouts should electricity demand continue to rise. Residents in affected areas are encouraged to follow guidance from local utility providers regarding energy conservation during peak usage periods. This is Claude McDaniel with Streaming News Network. New York Governor Kathy Hochul has directed a group of county sheriffs to end their cooperation agreements with United States Immigration and Customs Enforcement, commonly known as ICE, following the enactment of a new state immigration law. In letters sent to sheriffs in several New York counties, the governor ordered them to terminate agreements authorized under Section 287G of federal immigration law. These agreements allow designated local law enforcement officers to assist federal authorities with certain immigration enforcement activities. Governor Hochul said the agreements conflict with New York's recently enacted Local Cops, Local Crimes Act, which limits the use of state and local resources for federal civil immigration enforcement. The governor has instructed sheriffs to provide documentation confirming the agreements have been terminated by August 25. New York Attorney General Letitia James also warned that the state's newly created Office of Immigrant Trust could pursue legal action against agencies that continue participating in the federal program. The policy has already drawn a legal challenge from the United States Department of Justice, which argues the state law interferes with federal immigration enforcement. State officials, however, maintain the law is intended to preserve local public safety priorities and protect immigrant communities. The issue is expected to remain at the center of ongoing court proceedings and political debate in New York. This is Claude McDaniel with Streaming News Network. Leslie's Pool Supply, one of the nation's largest specialty retailers for swimming pool products and services, is reportedly evaluating financial restructuring options, including a possible Chapter 11 bankruptcy filing. The reports come just months after the company announced the closure of approximately 80 underperforming stores as part of a broader cost-cutting and restructuring effort. Although Leslie's reported modest improvements in second-quarter sales and customer growth, the retailer continues to face financial challenges. Company filings show losses remain significant, while consumer demand for discretionary home and outdoor purchases has remained under pressure. According to reports, Leslie's is exploring several options to address its debt obligations, including restructuring through Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection. However, no final decision has been announced, and discussions are said to be ongoing. The company has reportedly retained financial and legal advisors to assist with debt negotiations, while a group of creditors has also hired advisors as discussions continue. Leslie's has also experienced declining investor confidence this year, including its removal from the Standard & Poor's Small Cap 600 index and a recent downgrade of its corporate credit rating by a major ratings agency. For now, Leslie's says it remains focused on improving operations while evaluating strategic alternatives to strengthen its long-term financial position. I'm Claude McDaniel. Thank you for watching Streaming News Network. Please like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for continuing coverage of today's top stories.
Thank you for viewing Streaming News Network videos, and also short and special reports. Please like, subscribe, and tap the bell to be notified of additional reports.